Welcome back to my Editor-in-Chief desk, where I help you live and work like a writer. In my last video about resilience as a content creator, I talked about hate watching, which I think is a relatively new concept. I would say over the last 15 or 20 years, with the rise of the current state of the internet and social media, I think it's a fairly new phenomenon, because if you look back in history to other periods where there was less excessive entertainment and art, I don't think anyone had time for hate watching. And I really don't even understand why hate watching is even a thing, because you would think with the abundance of things that we would consume all the time, or the abundance of things that we have to consume at any second of the day, that instead of hating something and spending time attacking the person who created that, they would just move on to something else. We have endless, infinite things to watch at any given moment, to read at any given moment. Everything. We have everything. So the fact that it is such a big part of our culture now that people stop when they hate something because they have to let it be known and they have to attack the person who created that, it's very fascinating. We have so much to do, like move on, just move on. So when things were in points in history where there was less to consume, I don't think that people dwelled as much. I could be wrong. I have no historical proof, but it seems like if someone didn't like something, they would acknowledge that they didn't like it and just moved on. And opinions have always fueled what is successful and what is not successful. So I'm not saying there was any lack of opinion, but I think when there was less to consume at any given moment, there was more of a culture of respect. People would not like something and then move on with their life from a more neutral place. And now, for some reason, even though it's so easy to move on because there's just the next thing to watch or the next thing to read, within the culture, within our culture, there's a vacuum. You know, we operate under real life circumstances here. I'm the last person to say keep it real. I want to keep it fake. But if you heard the vacuum outside, there's a vacuum. So you would think it's so easy to move on because of the infinite things to read or watch, but that sort of agreeing to disagree, which comes from a place of respect, is less apparent. It's less a part of our culture currently. But then I realized that it's not just hate. Love is a problem too. Because when we are in this environment of endless stuff to consume, people get really emotionally charged about things that they love as well. And that can be problematic. So if you didn't watch my last video yet, I will link it below. I want to start diving into the love problem first, because I already talked about hate a decent amount. I have more thoughts, but I'll get to that. But the love problem is interesting because, again, respect is not about, this is a new thought. Respect is not about everyone agreeing and having the same opinion and everyone being nice to each other. Everyone doesn't need to be nice to each other. But respect comes from a neutral ground. You're operating in a neutral ground where different points of views are acknowledged. And within the discourse, the people who have the different points of views either find some common ground or they don't, but the discourse does not involve emotional aggression in the forms of either love or hate. Respect is just a more neutral ground to build upon within the course of a discussion. So when people start loving a certain type of content creator, they can get really obsessed today in our culture, which is just as problematic as hate. And they can feel entitled, and they can feel very preoccupied with the creator. And whenever I see instances of fans being preoccupied with the creator, it seems like an unhealthy coping mechanism of escape, where you become so fixated on a creator, similar to a celebrity, instead of focusing on your own life. And focusing on your own life can be as simple as doing something in your day to make yourself happier, or doing something that helps others. That would be focusing on your own life. But I've seen all these cultural things about concerned fans with either a celebrity or a content creator. A concerned fan? To me, that is not coming from a place of respect at all. Because you don't know the person that you're concerned about, and you aren't respecting their own authority and autonomy to take care of themselves and seek any help that they might need or not need. Again, because you don't know, because you don't actually know them. So this phenomenon in internet culture and in celebrity culture of concerned fans is concerning. Or it's just, again, to me, not coming from a place of respect. It's coming from that emotional aggression of love and being obsessed with someone else instead of focusing on choices that better your own life. And I'm deeming those choices a step to make yourself happier, or a step to help other people. That's what I'm calling a positive choice. And then from the creator or from the celebrity standpoint, when they say they love their fans or they love their subscribers, I call that incorrect word choice. Love is not the proper word there. So again, it's not coming from a place of respect. It's coming from a place of emotional aggression, of using the word love. A content creator who loves their subscribers, that is fake. They don't know them. Love is the wrong word there. And again, I'm the last person to say keep it real. I want to keep it fake. But it's just the wrong word choice. It's not love. It could be appreciation. It could be gratefulness. You could love that they support your work and they enable you to do your work. You could love that, but you don't love them. So that's where I think disrespect comes in from the celebrity or the content creator's perspective when they say they love their fans, just as a concerned fan might be worried about a content creator or a celebrity. This is where love is the problem, because I don't think we're taking respect into consideration. And somewhere along the line, we stopped being editors. We stopped self-editing. And there's a less sophisticated, anything goes type of language that we have going on in our culture right now, because there's not, an importance is not put on choosing words carefully, or what type of cultural impact your words have. Our words are all we have. Words are our only chance to get our intentions right, to accurately convey our intentions. We don't always get it right, but they're our only chance. And there has been a lack of importance put on the words that you choose, being careful about the words that you choose. So we get these extremes of love and hate rather than respect. So in earlier points in history, let's just take it way back. Let's take it way back to the theater, when there was only the theater. No movies, no television. And people would go see plays. And then they'd have an opinion about the play. And through word of mouth, either more people would go see the play if people liked it, or less people would go see the play if people didn't like it. So word of mouth and opinions have always been around. But I think people just moved on. Well, they didn't have enough time. Life expectancy was a lot shorter. So people didn't have a lot of time to dwell on things that they loved or hated. People didn't have time to obsess the way that they do now over either love or hate. So it just seems so innocent and mild, and why it's so easy to romanticize the past, because it seems so much more simple. People watched something, they read something, they liked it, they didn't like it, they moved on. And now we just have obsessive culture because we have too much time on our hands and too much to consume and longer lives. But I keep going back to, every time I say something about like we have so much to consume, to me that's just more reason to move on. You could watch a million other things that you might like. Why would you fixate on something that you don't like? And why would you feel personally invested in a celebrity or a content creator instead of focusing on your own life? So hate, I don't know, I feel like it just had to have been more existent. This is not historically accurate and I have no proof, but I just feel like people didn't have time for it. So then with television, when broadcast television wasn't 24/7, I don't think people obsessed over shows that they didn't like. People either watched what was on television or they didn't. And that was the end of the story. I don't think people got angry over a show that happened to be on television that maybe they weren't interested in. It was just like, oh, I wasn't interested in that, so I didn't watch it. So how did it evolve into, oh, I came across something I didn't like, and now I have to be really mean to that content creator, or I have to bash this celebrity because I don't like what they did. And another love danger, red alert love danger, is when you do love someone, a celebrity or a content creator, and then they do something you don't like, and then the fan is really confused. Well, I like them, but now I don't like them. And of course you can change your opinion, but if you weren't so obsessed, or you weren't having the extreme emotion of love in the first place, you didn't need to be conflicted when like they ate tofu and you hate tofu and now you hate that content creator or whatever it is. That seems kind of ridiculous, but it's not that far off from the type of things that I see that upset people on the internet. This is going to be my longest video ever. It might be. I think my longest video is maybe about 20 20 minutes? Let's see how long I can talk about this. I'm really fascinated with where things evolved to, like, when did it start being okay to not operate from a place of respect? When did that become okay? When do we stop choosing our words carefully? It probably is because in the free world, it has never been safer to hate people. It's never been safer to hate people because there's so much, there's a distance between people can do it anonymously. It's so funny because everyone, there's so many popular videos about, like, well, why do people behave like this? And everyone agrees and goes, yeah, why do people behave like that? And then there's still so many people that do. It seems like everyone's agreeing, and then we still see this almost barbaric behavior, like we're devolving as humans a little bit. Because before the theater or before that type of art, when we were slowly becoming humans from whatever we evolved from, I imagine there was disrespect at that point. I mean, when you're in survival mode, disrespect seems appropriate. You got to survive. You're not being PC. You're not choosing the words carefully. And I don't think, by choosing words carefully, I'm not talking about being PC. Again, because that would be more like, we have to be nice to each other, and that's not what I'm saying. I hope that got caught on camera. I think a big raven just flew by, and it made the light dark for a second. I hope you saw that. But we're not in survival mode now. So if it's okay to be disrespectful in the caveman days, because survival mode was the trend, we're all just trying to survive. That's our goal. That's what is trending on Instagram in the caveman days, like cave painting Instagram. If that's what, if I'm saying that's okay, if it's okay to be disrespectful when you're in survival mode, it makes no sense today. Nothing makes sense is the point of this video. Because less people. I would argue anyone who has access to the internet, maybe not so much in true survival mode. Everyone's conditions are different, of course. Access to the internet, huge luxury, just like my other favorites, electricity, running water, and refrigeration. So cool. We could have stopped there. We could have stopped while we were ahead with those amazing things, but then I wouldn't be talking to you like this right now. So again, I can't glamorize the past too much. I don't know what it was like. And also life expectancy. It's kind of related to, if you have too much time on your hands, you often get less done than if you have a lot to do, because if you have a lot to do, you have to manage your time really well in order for it to get all done. It's like the saying, if you need to get something done, ask a busy person, because they know how to fit it in. But if you're just left to have all the free time in the world, you usually don't do everything that you would want to do. It's some psychology thing that's beyond my expertise. I think I'm going to use that little nugget to tie it back to writing, because that is a big part of finding time to write. If you had all the time in the world, you wouldn't write what you wanted to do. That's not how it works. We need restraints. We need discipline. We need other things to do. We write with life, like I said in one of my last videos. We don't escape life to write. We write with life. And we use... My screensaver came on because I've been talking so long. Yeah, this is going to be the longest video ever. So I can't see what I'm doing right now. Okay. There we go. I don't know if you saw that, or if you just saw me struggling with my keyboard. But yeah, get busy, because then you'll find more time to write, which is going to be a topic that I'm talking about more. Because I made, one of my last videos was about finding 5 minutes a day to write. So I want to expand on that more too. But I guess I've talked in enough circles about love and hate and how I feel like there's a lack of respect implied when we're so comfortable operating in those extremes. I think we would benefit from being taught the importance of editing and the importance of pausing and reviewing our word choice, and if we want to respond. It reminds me of one more thing, and since I'm going big and just making this the longest video ever, I think this is my 201. I think this is video 201. So why not? We're celebrating. I've always felt that people who attack other people for being different in some way are really just... I think jealousy is too easy of a word. I don't think it's not jealousy. It's, why does that person get to be weird? I want to be weird, but I can't get away with it. So if I can't get away with being weird, I'm going to attack the person who is being weird and getting away with it. Because why do they get away with it when I can't? It's not mean-spirited. It's disappointment that they can't do that thing too, so they have to attack. I've known this as a lifelong weirdo, because I don't know how I knew it, but when I was a kid and I dyed my hair all crazy colors, and I guess I dressed weird and stuff. This is before like rainbow colored hair was mainstream. That long ago, there was a time when you were looked at as a weirdo for doing that. Maybe you still are, but it seems more common. Anyway, so I lost my train of thought, but I always knew when someone was, being mean as a kid. I was like, they want to do this, and like their parents won't let them, or someone made fun of them, so they decided never to be weird again, but they see someone else being weird, and so they have to bring them down too. It's kind of like crabs in the bucket. If a crab is crawling out, the other crabs will try to pull it down because they don't want anyone to escape. That's the very unscientific way of describing it, and I don't even know if it's real, but it's It's a thing. It's a thing that people talk about. So it's like, if I can't do that, I'm going to bring everyone down who is doing that. Why do they get away with it when I can't? Or that I would be attacked? Or just like in very simple terms, I would get attacked if I did that, so why don't I attack someone for doing it? It's only fair. When you think of it that way, it's just, I think it goes back to the resilience thing that I was talking about in that other video. It's human to feel hurt and upset when you see someone personally attacking something that you did, or attacking something that you did and then you take it personally. Very natural, very human, but just think of that person's life. Think of what their life is like if that's what they spend their time doing. It's easier for you to get over it. It doesn't make it better. It doesn't make anything that I'm saying not valid. I wish we were taught to edit ourselves more. I wish we were taught the importance of editing for the sake of respect in our current cultural landscape. And the more people talk about it, the more it doesn't stop the other stuff from continuing. Nobody is watching at this point. I've babbled, I've paused, we've had vacuums and neighbors and whispering and screensavers. All the makings of video 201. Well, if you're still here, please let me know if any of this resonates, or your current thoughts on our disrespectful culture, our emotionally charged culture, and how it relates to writing and content creation. If you give this video a thumbs up, it will help other writers find it. To see me stumble along in longest video ever, I have to ask you to subscribe if you're still here. If you are still here, please subscribe. I don't always talk for this long. They're usually shorter. I have 200 other videos you can watch that are much shorter. And because I respect your opinion to not like me, if you are here and you never want to see me again, thumbs down and then subscribe. If you're still with me, I will talk with you soon.